Hi everyone, welcome back to Total War Therapy. It's 5 AM here in Italy, basically the time when it's too early to wake up and too late to go to sleep. In my case, I've just haven't fallen asleep yet, but I'm not gonna do it because I need to leave for a little vacation in actually very few hours, and I even have to drive too, but no problem. I wanted to spend these remaining hours to make a video covering the next DLC after Tides of Torment that Creative Assembly announced for the next year, so basically the 2027th. Basically this DLC, it will be one of the greatest ever made about the scope. Okay, so it will cover many different factions about the opinion of many, and it will be the End Times DLC. So we will address faction by faction what are the missing units that we can expect, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy my video, and let's begin. But first, there is a question that I feel the urge to answer before going deep into the video, that is if this DLC, supposed to come next year, will be the last DLC of Total War Warhammer 3 or not. The reasons for the no for me are that there is still a lot of missing content that, I will be honest with you, is not that much. Okay, that there is not content for 10 years, but there are of course many possibilities to expand even more the world of Total War Warhammer 3, and for example they can expand even the map, so to Karash, to Ind, but it's something that for me is quite unlikely. But at the same time, yes, there are many characters, many units that need to get their spotlight, so it would be a missed chance for Creative Assembly if they don't cover them. The second is money. For now, Total War 3 is the only resource of cash flow for Creative Assembly, or at least many people say that, so it would be a wasted opportunity to, you know, not to take advantage of all the different DLC that we would like to pay for, okay, because there are many characters. Even if they do just an Elector count DLC, I think there are many fans of the Empire that would like to pay for a DLC like that, and then that it can be like a milestone. Okay, think about Avengers Endgame, or I mean Avengers overall. It's not the end, even if it's a catastrophic apocalypse movie, was just the beginning of something more, and then we got plenty of movies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so it may be just you know, like this is half of the game. Now we need to make 5 DLC more, and we can finally call it the end. The reasons for the yes are first that, I mean, it has already been a very long journey. There is no game that is expected to continue that long. There is, yeah, Zooplanet, for example, that is a game that I suggest you to play if you like the management game that, I mean, is still making DLCs after 10-20 years, but yeah, now that the Creative Assembly is under Sega, you know, it's quite hard that, because they have to justify with the holding why they are making, you know, 10-20 DLCs for the same game, when in most of other games just 1-2 DLCs are more than enough. Then there may be new games coming, and probably Creative Assembly want to shift the interest, the investment and the focus on these new games that they may be around you know, Total War and Warhammer too, but yeah, we know nothing for now about that. This is just a speculation, but yeah, the rumors say that they already give the, you know, the direction of the DLCs of Total War Warhammer 3 to, we can say, side studios like the one of Sofia that doesn't focus on the main project. And this may be suggesting that Creative Assembly is little by little disinvesting resources on Total War Warhammer 3. Then there is the reason of the Grand Finale. Okay, that, I mean, it's Italian, so I'm supposed to say Grand Finale, but I don't know if there is an English pronunciation for that. And yeah, contrary to what I say about Avengers Endgame, it may be that you know, it's just the big ending, so they wanted to, you know, make the greatest DLC ever made just to conclude the series. And then, you know, maybe many people want to start a new life. They are doing a lot of hotfix a lot of patches in the recent times, and you know, this is a clue that this game is old, because they have to renovate in many, I mean, they have to renovate it in many different fields, and maybe, you know, the team wants just to start again, to start a new game when they can do things, you know, from the back, and not just fix them and adjust them after many years that the game worked like that. So I think it's normal that everyone wants to move on. Who doesn't want to move on, or to move on is of course like, it's of course me, that I mean, I love this game, and I would like, you know, other 10 years of playing Total War Warhammer 3, and yeah, I would be very sad if they will conclude the game just in 1 year. Now that my channel started, okay, I just started with this channel, so please give me 2-3 years more at least. The first faction that, according to many rumors, will be one of the most likely candidates is the one led by the Glottkin brothers. That could be both Nurgle of Warriors of Chaos. Honestly, I would prefer the Nurgle version, because I think that there are many interesting units and characters that could follow the Glottkins in this adventure, but at the same time it would be a nice idea to get another Warriors of Chaos faction, and they could add, you know, units for every monogod, so, you know, a generic hero for Tzeentch, like, you know, the Brahman Shaman for Tzeentch, then the Minotaur Lord for Khorne, a monster for Slaanesh, a unit for Nurgle. I mean, both these ideas may be cool, depends how they implement them, but for now let's explore the idea that it's a full Nurgle faction. So we will get the Glottkin brothers, that it's you know, another big monster lord, legendary lord for Nurgle, but in this case, like for Kugat, he would be a spellcaster too, and probably better in melee. Then we may get 2 legendary heroes that honestly, especially Guthrodspoom is one of my favorite characters that I mean, I really would like to see him in the game, even if not as a legendary lord, but with some boost to, you know, marine fights or naval units, I don't know. And then Valnir the Reaper, that honestly I expect this character to arrive in the last school event, but it didn't happen. We just got a teaser, very sad. And yeah, because, you know, there are the legendary heroes of Nurgle, they are just recruitable by Tamurkhan, and yeah, I would like a legendary hero that you can recruit with any Nurgle faction. And then there are the Pox Maggots, the Maggot King, there are many names, but they are basically this group of heroes with that are, you know, Nurgle warriors atop this giant beast that may have a missile attack, and that is very interesting for me because I love missile monsters, and this is a unit that I don't know if it will be a single entity in case of course this DLC will happen, or a generic hero, but in that case there are 3 different sorry, not generic hero, but 3 different legendary heroes with this mount. So I mean, it will be interesting to see what Creative Assembly has in mind for that. And then there are many generic Nurgle units like the you know, the Chariot of Nurgle, the Chaos Spined Beast, yes, that actually is not for Nurgle, it's just green, okay, but it can be for any different monogods, but honestly I would not appreciate another reskin of an Nurgle thing, so yeah, I would be okay just with a unit for Nurgle and just Nurgle. Then we get a kind of snail that I don't know how it's supposed to work, but I found it in the, you know, in the Warhammer shop, and I wanted to share with you. And then the Putrid Blight Kings, that would be, you know, think that in some of the rankings I made, even with you, that you rank the best melee infantry, you chose the Chosen of Nurgle has the best melee infantry unit. If they add the Putrid Blight Kings, you would be, you know, the best of the best melee infantry of this game, even more of the Wrath than the Wrathmongers, I think, because I mean it would be crazy, and I would love to get them. They would be boosted by Guthrodspoom. So yeah, all this package in this way, for me it would be very lovely. I love Nurgle, and I would like to get another faction, even if it's you know, quite complete roster for now, but who knows. The second faction that is rumored to be in this big DLC is from Grand Cathay. Honestly, the situation of Grand Cathay is a little complex, at least in my opinion, because Creative Assembly hinted at so much content and we don't know if we will actually get all of them. It would be a shame because, I mean, we know that the Monkey King will come for sure, but we don't have the same chances for Ying Yin and Lil Dao, and honestly Ying Yin is my most expected character for this game. I mean, a bow woman that can turn into a sea dragon, for me, I mean, it's the most lovely thing I can play with. So I definitely would like to get this character. And then there are the Tiger Men that it would be amazing to get this sub faction. There are the Fire Monks and even, I mean, the faction of the Monkey King. Now the question is, we will get the Monkey King that is the only legendary lord that we will get for sure in this End Times DLC, or we will get it later in a more appropriate way, or I don't know, it will be a content that will arrive along the 2026 before the release on December of the End Times DLC. There are many viable options and honestly I don't know on which one to bet. I just would like to see all of that, but yeah, we need at least 3 DLCs to cover all the legendary lords of Cathay, or just Ying Yin and the Monkey King and Lil Dao as you know, as a DLC. But in that case, when we will get the Fire Monks and all the units related, okay, it's very difficult, very hard to find you know, the right way to address this topic, but yeah, I just cross the finger and I hope that at the end we will get everything. The third faction, and one of the most awaited by the community, is the one led by Thanquol, from the faction of the Skaven. This, okay, Skaven, it's quite full. Honestly, when I play with them, you have already so many options that you have to play different campaign to enjoy all the different you know, categories of units available for the Skaven. So getting another DLC for me, it's too much. Has always been too much. But yeah, if they wanted to make you know, a big DLC covering so many factions, it would be nice to get another Skaven Legendary Lord, even because back in Total War Warhammer 2 they were my favorite faction, and there are some possible units. Some of them are not that interesting, like the Rat Hydra. I don't know the exact name, but it's you know, another Hydra reskin but with some red faces. Then the Packmaster Lord, the Vermin Lord, that this one may be a little more interesting, but it will be, according to many, I watched the video of the Great Book of Grudges that he hinted that it may be something like the Slan Mages for the Lizardmen, so you can unlock only with the ritual this very important lord, because they are supposed to be stronger than the generic you know, Storm Lord and so on. And then we would get the Storm Fiends, that is probably the most awaited unit in case of you know, this faction will come. And the Storm Fiends are basically rat ogres, but a little modified with some weapons that can be both melee, so like this grinder, and then some that may be more missile, like the rattling guns and also some cannons, some warp cannons. And yeah, I would love that. Okay, as I said, it's already quite full, the roster of the Skaven, but few additions are not hurting anyone, even because yeah, probably, I mean, I would prefer more addition to Bretonia, that it's really in need, than more Skaven units, but yeah, it's you know, it's a choice that I would appreciate. The fourth faction, and even in this case is a must in case this DLC will be the End Times DLC, it's the one led by Nagash. Now, this is very interesting because Nagash, we can say, now someone can write in the comments that I'm wrong, but I mean, I learned about the lore a lot, and I think I'm enough comfortable to say that Nagash may be both a Tom King's lord and a Vampire Count's lord. Okay, it's something in the middle. That's why we don't know if we will get a unique faction. That many people would like that, but I think that is the most unlikely choice and option. Or it will be a Tom King's lord or a Vampire Count's lord. In case Neferata is coming as Creative Assembly hinted, so you know, they say that is coming a lord lord very dear to us and our blood, that, I mean, the only option is Neferata here. And if it's Neferata coming with her faction, we will probably not get Nagash as a vampire count lord. And I mean, it's kind of skeleton, it's a necromancer, so I think we can assume that, I know that many people will start to criticize me in the comments, but I think we can say that he will be a Tomb King's legendary lord. And in that case, he can add some units for the Tomb Kings, like, I don't know about a Phobos, that is the, I mean, the legendary lord from the Tomb Kings that most of people were saying that he would have come at some point. I don't think he will come, but in case he may be a legendary hero, who knows. Then we will get the mummies, we will get the scarabs, we will get the Khemric Titan, that I know that we already get so many single entity monsters for the Tomb Kings, and they're all grounded. I don't know if this Khemric Titan can fly, probably not, because it's too big. I would like him, I would like it to fly, so he can add more variety, but in any case I would like to see it in the game, okay, even if it's just a grounded monster. And then there are some units that are a little in the middle between Neferata and Nagash, like the Morgeist, that yeah, I think this is the name, that are this kind of flying monstrous infantry with different weapons, that may be a dual blades or a great glaive, and then there is the abyssal. No, what's the name? Oh my god, I always forgot the name. Okay, in any case, it's the Mount of Neferata that Nagash gave access to other lords, like even Arkan, Neferata, and another one that I think he may be another Tomb Kings related card. No, sorry, to Manfred, maybe, or to Lad, one of the two, and that would be another very interesting units, but probably will come with Neferata. We don't know. In any case, the Tomb Kings have other options, like some weapon variation, like the Bone Giant with the dual weapon, the Ushabti with the great weapon. So there is enough material to get a DLC out of them, and yeah, honestly, I would like it, because Tomb Kings are an amazing faction and they need a little more of love. The last potential faction for this great DLC is of course from the Empire. Now, who will lead this faction of the Empire, we really don't know. They already say that Boris Todbringer at some point he will get the spotlight, but I mean, for me it's weird every year that passes that we still didn't get this character that is just there. I mean, just build a little mechanics around him and you know, call it a new campaign. I don't know how you're gonna sell it, but I mean, just give it to us. Even because if you use it as a lord I mean, we will be already able to recruit a lord that will come in a paid DLC. This is a little weird. I remember that back in Total War Warhammer 2, I don't know now because now I own all the DLCs. It never happened to me that I confederate with the legendary lord that I don't possess the DLC of, but in Total War Warhammer 2, when I started to play the game, I remember that I was confederating with lords that I didn't have the DLCs of. So I don't know how it works this, but it would be just weird. In any case, there are all the other Elector counts of the empires that may be a potential candidate for this faction. I will not mention all of them first because I don't remember the names, but yeah, for me it would be very nice to get a DLC only focus on the Empire Elector counts, like, you know, Elector counts DLC, where you get all these units, all these legendary lords with their factions, very little mechanics, and then some thematic units. But yeah, we probably will not. So the Creative Assembly will just pick one legendary lord of the missing from the pool of the missing ones and put it as a leader of this faction against the Nagash, the Glottkin brothers, and so on. The legendary hero that we may get, it will be Kart Helborg. Yeah, Kart Helberg, I think. Yes, because he's the great master of the Reiksguard, is one of the most important legendary hero here. That's why I think this would be the most likely choice as the legendary hero. And then there are many different units. About the generic character, I think there is just the Grandmaster as a generic lord, but I mean, who cares? There are many units that would be very interesting for the Empire, because remember that even at this point, after I think 2 or 3 DLCs that cover the Empire faction, we still don't have a proper melee fighter. So if they add, for example, the Teutogen, something like that, guard, that is this very armored, ammo-piercing, heavy damage guys, or the Knights of the White Wolves, that is basically the same but on horses. And then there is the cavalry of the Knight Panther, that, I mean, in this case is not that interesting, will be just another reskin of cavalry for the Empire. And then the Rake's Guard on foot, so not only on cavalry, we will get even these armored fighters as melee infantry. And all of this would be very nice, because we don't have melee options for the Empire. You have just to defend your front line with spearmen, and then use all the artillery, the gunpowder, some missile units, some cavalry to do the job. But we are lacking melee infantry. It would be nice to get these 2 different very armored and elite options. Then there are the halflings that have been hinted by Rick, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it would be even here a nice addition. You probably will use them just in the early game. They will be very easy to recruit, and I mean, let's see what they have in mind, because there are a few units from the halflings that they may add. And then the Celestial Hurricanum that I was expecting in the Thrones of Decay. I don't know why they didn't put it. I mean, you have just to take the Luminar Kovish and put a giant globe on that. I don't know, they didn't want to... They prefer to make just the reskin of the steam tank, but okay. And this would be another nice unit, because I like the support war machines, like for Grand Cathay, with the compass and with the drums. So getting one unit like that increase the magic power of your Empire army, it may be crazy and absolutely fantastic. And yes, say that if this is the plan for the great DLC of the end times, I would definitely pay whatever money for this, because I would love it. And what I'm sorry about is that getting all this faction together will not focus the interest on any of them. I prefer at this point to get one faction by one, so we can focus each time on a different new army, new units, instead of getting all together that already with 3 different factions. It's I mean, sometimes it's overwhelming, and you don't know which campaign to play first, and so on. So yeah, I really like them to change a little their plans in this way. But let's see what they have in mind. And thank you for following me. I hope you're enjoying the summer. I will enjoy this holiday, I hope. Probably I will sleep 1 hour, who knows, because I really have to drive a lot. So don't forget to subscribe, and see you very, very soon.